Steering. While it's relatively easy to make slight steering adjustments, many maneuvers require you to turn the car quite sharply to the left or the right. In order to do this effectively, you need to learn the pull-push method of steering. What's probably the most important rule about steering may not seem that obvious, but you not only steer with your hands, but also with your eyes. If you look where you want the car to go, your brain will tell your hands what to do with the steering wheel. Your peripheral vision will also help to keep your position on the road. If you're not using the steering wheel to turn, then you should keep your hands in what's known as the 10-to-2 position. This ensures that you're in full control of your vehicle and will be able to steer effectively when the need arises. The pull-push method ensures that you keep both hands in contact with the wheel at all times, and that the wheel is never allowed to spin out of control. Once the wheel is turned fully to either the left or the right, this is known as full lock. You can practice the pull-push method of steering by completing the figure of 8 exercise in a very quiet car park. Once mastered, you'll be ready to steer round left and right turns. To steer left, pull down with your left hand and at the same time slide your right hand down to meet it at the 6 o'clock position. Now, grip the wheel with your right hand and push it up. At the same time, slide your left hand up to meet it at the 12 o'clock position. Repeat this until you've steered sufficiently or until full lock is achieved. To steer right, pull down with your right hand and at the same time slide your left hand down to meet it at the 6 o'clock position. Now, grip the wheel with your left hand and push it up. At the same time, slide your right hand up to meet it at the 12 o'clock position. Repeat this until you've steered sufficiently or until full lock is achieved. Ancillary controls. It's important when driving an unfamiliar car for the first time that you locate all the ancillary controls before starting your journey. You may have already used some of these controls during an earlier lesson, particularly if you've had a lesson in the dark or during bad weather. Horn. The horn is usually located either in the middle of the steering wheel or on the end of a stalk. Rules for the use of the horn can be found in the Highway Code. Lights. The light switches are usually on a stalk or a separate switch on the dashboard. There will be 3 settings for the lights. Side lights. These can be used when leaving your car parked at night. Dipped headlights. These should be used whenever visibility is reduced and during the hours of darkness. Full beam headlights. These should be used during the hours of darkness on an unlit road with no oncoming traffic. Don't use them in foggy conditions, as they will reduce visibility further. When the headlights are on, if you push the stalk away from you, the main beam headlights will come on. When the main beam lights are on, then you'll see a blue warning light on the dashboard. If you pull the stalk towards you, this will flash the main beam headlights. Whichever lights you switch on, the tail lights and the number plate light will also come on. Fog lights. These should only be used when visibility is reduced to less than 100 meters. The fog lights won't usually work unless the dipped headlights are switched on. When the rear fog lights are switched on, you'll see an orange warning light on the dashboard and a green light when the front fog lights are on. Hazard warning lights. The switch for the hazard warning lights is usually red or has a large red triangle on it. Hazard warning lights should be used when your vehicle is causing a hazard to other road users due to a breakdown. They must not be used as justification for illegal parking or when your car is moving, unless it's to warn other drivers of a hazard ahead on a motorway or unrestricted dual carriageway. When operated, all the indicators on the car flash at the same time. Windscreen wipers and washers. On the opposite stalk to the indicators, you should find the windscreen wipers and washers control. Operate this stalk with your fingertips just like you do the indicator stalk. Move the stalk either upward or downward to operate the wipers. One click will bring on the intermittent wipe. Another click will operate the normal speed wipers. A third click usually operates the double speed wipers. To wash the windscreen, move the stalk either towards you or away from you, depending on the make of car. There will also be a control for the rear wiper and washer if there's one fitted. Demisters and heaters. All cars are fitted with demisters. These will help you to keep your windows clear at all times. Make sure the heat and fan are turned up and the air is directed onto the windscreen. Most cars have a heated rear windscreen. Some cars also have a heated front windscreen. The dashboard. On the dashboard, there are several warning lights and gauges. Should any of the lights light up when you're driving, stop and check the user's manual to find out what the problem is and whether or not you should drive the car any further. You will also find the speedometer on the dashboard. This tells you what speed you're travelling at. There might also be a rev counter. This tells you at what speed the engine is rotating. You'll also see the fuel gauge and possibly a temperature gauge. The temperature gauge tells you the temperature of the engine. If it shows high or red, you must not drive the car any further. Your instructor will explain how these controls work in their car and also what the warning lights mean. Whenever you drive a different car, you may have to read the user's manual to find out about the car you're driving.